Thank you, Wes. Good morning. I'm Bob Wall, and it is indeed a pleasure for me to welcome you to this sacred spot. And for me, it is sacred. My school, my elementary school, stood right here, facing that way. On each side of the sidewalk, there were 3 maples, so that when we went out for recess in the fall, we were always greeted by this golden carpet. West Ward School, in keeping with Michigan law from 1867, was a fully integrated school. In the early days, and we have a picture from 1890, there are mostly European immigrant children who attended the school. I point that out because of the changes that will come later. When the workers came in 1916, they came by themselves without their families. And in the course of a year, they sent for members of their families. So in fall of 1917, the school board faced a major dilemma. They didn't have room for all the white students that they had because they hadn't completed construction on the old Dalrymple School. And now they had 100 extra African-American children to also put in. And so when members of the black community approached the school board, they said 2 things. One, this will give our teachers some place to work. And number 2, it'll give our children time to acclimate so that by the time they go to junior high, they will be accustomed to living in this environment. You have to remember that coming from various parts of the South, a lot of kids' conception of what a white person was not good. These are the lynchers, the night riders. So how are they going to be comfortable in school with them as yet another authority figure? And they said, if we have time, we can acclimate them, and by the time they go to junior high, they'll just be comfortable in this society. And things started out pretty well. In the fall of 1919, the construction on the addition to the building started, and it was finished in early 1920. So at the outset, it appeared to be maybe a successful case of separate and equal, but that didn't last very long. Within 10 years or so, what started out as voluntary segregation became an example of blatant discrimination. I started school here in 1946 to 52, and I do not recall ever having a new textbook. And those were the kinds of things that were starting to set in. A lot of times, I get the impression that people looked at those of us who attended as these poor, unfortunate kids who had to go to a segregated school. We wanted a segregated school at that time, at least the parents did. And when the situation in the school switched and became obvious discrimination, they wanted to change. I will say that the one thing our teachers did for us, in addition to normal schooling, is that they instilled in us a sense of self-worth. When I left West Ward, I knew that I could do anything that I wanted to do, and that the limits that would be placed on me would be those that I placed on myself. For those teachers to achieve that is major. Washington, I was born on the house on the other side of that church. I lived with my uncle on 719 West Cass 3 different times, and on Culver Street once, and on Gale Street once. So I have a very intimate connection to this space, the whole space. And so we're here. The Gale, and I want you to, if you have time, to look at the installation that the 3 of us did. On the right-hand side facing this way, is the story of the school with pictures of the teachers, all the way back to students, all the way back to 1890. And on the left-hand side is the story of the Great Migration, and in particular, the story of the role of the malleable in that, and the closing of Westward School and how that came about, and also images of the people involved. So,
can you tell them about some of the interviews that you did?
oh, okay, on the website that Leslie was talking about earlier.
AlbionWestward.net.
AlbionWestward.net. As part of the whole project, I interviewed 21 people who attended West Ward, and I think the oldest person I interviewed was 84. And so I have very fond memories, and I'll be around if you have any questions after. Thank you.